It's time for Dart Talk. Brought to you by thedartzone.com. Stay in the zone. Thedartzone.com is an official Cosmo distributor and Windy City Fabricators, America's premier fabricators of orthotics and prosthetics. And Redwood Darts, America's newest tungsten darts. Stand straight and tall and hit them all. Redwood Darts. And now, here are your hosts, Mystery Mark and Steve P.
Okay, welcome to Dirt Talk.
How's it going?
Good. Steve Poncelmo with Mystery Mark, September 18th, 2012.
Which is a special day, apparently. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank everybody for the birthday wishes. As
old are
much
you?
as turning 28.
All right, perfect.
So,
you got a lot of years left in darts then. You're
yeah,
only
one would
28.
hope. I have a young arm.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. The Facebook can be annoying sometimes. You know, everybody's got opinions, and they post stuff sometimes that, you know, you really don't want to see. But when you get hundreds of birthday wishes, it really makes you feel good. So thanks, everybody, for the birthday wishes. Do appreciate that. We're brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, thanks to Windy City Fabricators and Redwood Darts. We got a lot to get to.
Yes, we do.
We have results from the Virginia State Championships. Thank you, Paula. And also, thank you, Anthony Eugenia. We got the latest results from the DPNY Champions Tour. And it just reading the results makes me so jealous.
Okay.
I mean, it's I don't understand why we can't get something like that going here.
Which is what you say every time we bring up these results.
And I remain mystified.
Exactly.
Also, I have the drills now
For the intermediate players.
Intermediate player,
Right.
and the last drill to complete is not going to be easy. So it's going to be a challenge for the intermediate players, and I suspect that a lot of the tournament players may not be able to get it on their first whack. I mean, so it'd be kind of interesting to see how that works. It was interesting. I went out last night.
Okay.
You know, trying to get used to the new darts. So I'm trying to get
Oh,
out
I thought
as
you were
often
going to
as I
just
can.
say that you went out for your birthday. I
Well, no,
I
I
didn't know
mean,
you were transitioning into to get used to the new darts.
Do I ever talk about anything but darts? I mean, it's just stupid.
All right. On that case, how are the new darts?
Um,
Last week you said you seemed to finally get a handle on them.
well, they're pretty good.
See, I mean,
They're
it still
fly
hard?
good. Well,
is it still hard since they're so light and you've been playing with, 8 grams heavier for so many years?
Well, I think I'm getting used to them. I'm hitting a lot of stuff, and especially like, you know, throwing 6 bulls and stuff like that, and like throwing, you know, 3 triple 20
Maybe you
or
can
3
actually-
double 20s out of 3.
With
and
these
stuff
darts,
like
you'll
that.
win a diddle against Carver.
Well, we broke that streak. I don't know what streak I got
how about
going
more
now,
consistently then? How about that?
That'd be good. Well, no, I had to monkey around with the setup, and I ended up having to put speed flights on.
Right.
With, you know, much longer shafts than I normally use, and I've never really been able to throw speed flights with my heavier darts. They didn't really fly in the air that well, and sometimes they'd go a little cockeyed in the board, and these things are just like, they're like, it's like throwing
Bullets?
with a nail gun.
Yeah.
I mean, they just like, and I got these like.
Did the longer shafts, did it screw you up with your...
No, not, well, because the barrels are shorter.
Oh.
So it's
in essence,
the
they're the
combined
same
length.
length.
Yeah, the combined length is comparable, and then because the tips are shorter than my steel tips, because I got slightly longer. I think it's like a 1/4 inch longer
Steel
points
tip,
on my steel
right.
ones. So I'm actually gripping them in a slightly different spot. So I'm monkeying around with that. But I don't know. It was the reason I brought it up wasn't really to, give you the state of my new darts, but we'll see. I'm going to go after the show.
Would you like to inform me why you brought it up then?
Well, because, in the interests of, advancing the show, I went to a bar that had 2 boards. And it's Monday night. I figure it's dead. I'll just do some drills and, But I had been there, I don't know, Friday night or something, and there were 50 people who thought the dart area was a dance floor.
Oh, of course.
So me and Jill are in the corner trying to play, and she's trying to get ready for her singles league.
Right.
They did their playoff, their singles league playoff. She did about what you did.
Oh, did she really?
Yeah, she blew it. They had round robin groups of 3, and then
I knew she made the playoffs. Yeah, I didn't hear how
2 out of the 3 went through. So she lost 3-2. She lost 3-2 and 5-0, and then the other guy that beat her 3-2 also lost 5-0. So she missed, getting out of the round robin.
Right. Yeah, and then because then the 4 people
one
play.
leg. And she's I had doubles to win all those legs. So I was like, whatever.
I feel her pain.
But when we're there Friday night, the place was just jumping. Right, and there was a very young couple that I figured were I don't know, 21. Turns out they're more my age,
28,
27.
Yeah. Right in that.
And
middle to upper 20s.
It looked like they wanted to have a little fun. The girl's right-handed, but she's got her left foot forward, and the guy's pretty athletic, but he's throwing. Throwing him into the wall, stuff like that. So it's kind of like, whatever. Yeah. Well, no, I mean, he was kind of trying. He just had no accuracy. So I go in there last night, and who's there playing but this couple? She now has her right foot forward, and they're playing beginners. They're playing cricket, and I don't know, half hour they're still trying to finish one leg. So I suggested to them that they try the drill number 1 for beginners, which is you throw 21 darts at the bowl, and they all have to be, inside the triple ring.
Yeah.
Well, the girl ended up, the second time she did it, had 18, and I think the guy was kind of a little too much pressure.
Slightly
too much
less.
pressure, losing to his girlfriend or, whatever. I mean, the relationship wasn't all that advanced.
Right.
So I'm like, hey, sorry.
Just like their dart game?
So I had them do a couple of the other drills. They really liked doing the around-the-world thing.
Yeah.
And having them try to hit 4 double 20s, they were throwing up their hands. Although they did get the 4 16s.
Oh, okay.
And they modified it where they kept doing it till they get 4.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, okay. Then I said, why don't you try to play a game of cricket now? So they did the drills for about, I don't know, a half hour. And their cricket game was over in half the time.
Right, 15 minutes maybe.
Yeah, and the guy's like, oh, hey, that really helped, and la-di-da-di-da. So
right.
We reinforced that the drills for the beginners are pretty good.
Yeah.
So I think we need to keep it that. Now, the intermediate ones are going to be a challenge. So let's take a short break. You guys aren't going to hear anything. We're not going to run any commercials, but I just need to take a drink. So give us 30 seconds. You can read this flyer, and we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. And before we misspeak about anything else, here's Melissa.
The views and opinions expressed by guests on Dart Talk do not necessarily reflect the thoughts or opinions of the hosts, our sponsors, any official Dart sanctioning organization, and post hoc ergo propter hoc, any and all spelunkers, debunkers, raconteurs, roustabouts, technocrats, hepcats, cat ladies, Lady Gaga, the Four Seasons, the Three Stooges, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, hipsters, kibitzers, hellions, the fickle finger of fate, or Tom Waits.
Okay, thank you, Melissa.
Yep.
Where were we?
How
What
do
were
we
we
listen
talking
to the
about?
show?
Yeah, we need to reiterate that every now and then. You guys can get the show on iTunes. You can subscribe to it, and then every week I upload the audio, and I think it automatically goes to your iPod or whatever, iPod Shuffle if you subscribe.
All right.
The same deal. Yeah, the same deal with the Ustream, or I'm sorry, the same deal with YouTube. If you subscribe to the show on our channel, which is Dart Talk US, all one word, when I upload the show, because if we get little glitches sometimes, I don't get it up right after the show, it'll tell you when it's up, so then you won't miss it. You can also listen on tunein.com and on stitcher.com. You can find the show. Although apparently, we tried stitcher.com and it blew up a brand new whatever, Samsung something or other.
Oh, really? The new Samsung phone? Okay.
So I
Oops.
don't know what to make of that. So, yeah, on the phones, you might have to download some little applet or something.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Somebody said that one of them cost like 99 cents or something. For me, it was free. So TuneIn works on the BlackBerry. That was why we used TuneIn in the first place. So tunein.com, if you just search Dart Talk, I think you can get all the old episodes, but there's a cutoff. So if you want to get last year's episodes, you're going to have to get them off of iTunes. And iTunes is pretty easy. It's free, but, you got to do it, with the computer and stuff. So if you guys find people that want to listen to the show and don't know how, help them out a little bit. Our Facebook page, if you just go to Dart Talk, we always have links to the show up there. So they can, click there. I don't know how much easier to make it. I mean, unless we're on satellite radio.
Other than do it for somebody?
Well, if we were on satellite radio, then you need a satellite radio.
Exactly.
I mean, how many people have those?
Right.
And then you got to go into your car to listen to the show. I mean, really?
Well, you don't have to.
I mean,
you could get your satellite radio on your computer.
They should just give us Nightline's time slot.
Oh, yeah, that would be great.
So we could be on, like, network TV, and then you could DVR it like you DVR the football games.
We'll have to work on that.
So anyway, and then you can always email us, darttalk@gmail.com. And, I try to respond in a timely manner, and usually I do. If I'm on the road, I can't check the email.
Okay.
I don't have it set up in my phone because my phone's retarded. Well, I mean, I'm going to have to cut that now.
Yeah.
No, I got a stupid phone, and the keyboard is like literally I get typos because my fingers are too big to hit the right key.
You don't have
all
like
the time.
autocorrect where it actually...
It doesn't work.
Oh.
Like I like to say yeppers, but it turns it into peppers.
Right.
So if I ever send somebody something that says peppers, what I mean is yeppers. So I don't know. It's
FYI.
just whining and whining and whining.
So, all right. So you just put up a flyer during our commercial break for Johnny K's Toys for Tots.
Yes, I did.
We have a little thing going with that.
Yeah, we're gonna do something.
We're working on setting it up right now.
Well, I did talk with Johnny Kaczynski.
Yeah. This goes back to what we were talking about at the end of last week.
Well, yeah, it goes back to for one, there's people running around with, I think, scissors in their purse, hoping that I'll turn my back long enough for them to chop the ponytail. Which is, how long is it? I mean, it's getting pretty long. I mean, it's not quite Simon Whitlock, but it's close. And I thought it, to support a charity,
right,
is fine. So we were talking last week about, we could, donate the hair. It's breast cancer month. It's October, right? We could donate the hair and raise money at the same time. So I talked to Johnny Kaczynski about it, and he's like, I just think that's great. Thanks for your support. I think it's wonderful. It's like, yeah, it's a worthy cause. Why not? So we're, talking about the specifics. So here's the deal. We're going to solicit donations to Johnny K's Toys for Tots. And once the donations reach the secret number,
a certain level,
the secret number, Steve's going to get chopped. Now, I said, shave my head. Jill was like, are you kidding me?
Not a chance.
Not a chance. You're not shaving your head. And she was so dead set against it. And I'm like, when you met me, I had short hair, right? So shaving the head is out, but, we could get it really, really, really
short.
Really short.
Right.
Yeah. So now it's a matter of, here's the plan.
What's the plan?
Well, people are going to have to go on to PayPal and make a donation. And Johnny says if you put haircut or Steve's haircut or something along those lines in the subject part of your PayPal donation, he's going to keep track of how much money we raise. And then, I'll get an update from him before every show, and we'll let everybody know, we're 5%, we're 10%, we're 20%. If we reach the number by the time I go to Dayton,
which is?
That is October 12th, I think, the weekend of the 12th. I'm going to try to do it there, and because there's somebody there with cameras that can film.
Right.
So, and then
if not,
what we're going to do is I will go to Pennsylvania
for the actual
Toys for Tots tournament, and we'll do it there.
Right.
And as an extra incentive, now. We could do it two ways. If we cut the hair live on the show, right, who gets to use the scissors?
Well,
because there's a couple of guys that said that they'd pay real money to do that.
Somebody's going to want to.
Right. So if we reach the goal by the Dayton tournament, then we'll sell raffle tickets at the Dayton tournament
in order to cut
see
your hair.
Who gets the scissors.
Right.
Right. And then we'll just raise a little extra money that way. Otherwise, we can do it in Harrisburg, or we could do it on the show. Because I was thinking what we could do is whoever gives the largest donation can get the scissors.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
So we haven't worked that part out, but don't worry. We'll do something. So we should do something for the people that, give something.
Yes.
So here's what I was thinking. You know how they do it on NPR? Like if you listen to public radio and they do their little fund drives, and they give you a little swag.
Exactly.
Right? Like if you donate, this, then we'll send
X
you a
amount
CD,
for this, right.
and this, we'll send you a CD. So I have two suggestions that we could do. One is if you donate X amount, how about I give you like a private 30-minute dart lesson? They'll coach them up, do this, do that. I mean, I don't know.
It's a thought.
We give a lot of tips and stuff on the show.
We have to determine what that number is. But
I think it would be funny if somebody like Darren Young or Larry Butler donated a lot of money and said, okay, I'm ready for my lesson. Right. And I'll be like, didn't I give you a lesson in Virginia Beach last year in the semis of the cricket or something? Right. So,
and they'll bring up the 8 other tournaments. That
obviously, obviously for players that don't think, I could help, we could also send people CDs of the show, past shows.
Right.
Like burn them on a CD and send it to them, right?
Sure.
If it's like a total hassle to get them off iTunes or something like that. What was the third thing? There was another thing that we could do. Oh, I forgot what it was.
You didn't write it down?
No, because it just came to me that it would be a good thing to do. One was the lesson. What was the other one? Oh, I'm killing myself here. I don't know.
Well,
we'll come up with something.
But it's all for Toys for Tots.
Yeah. All the money's going to go to Toys for Tots. Yeah. Johnny actually said, hey, do you want to collect donations? And I'm like, no, just send them to you.
Yeah.
I don't want to handle any money or anything like that, but I'm perfectly willing to, do what we can to, help this charity.
Right.
And help kids.
Yeah, and it's easier through PayPal anyway, especially when they can put it in the notes.
Right. And so when it comes to that, here's the skinny on the PayPal. So if you guys want to participate, and we're going to be reiterating this, I think, probably once a show. We'll do something once a show, and I'll run his flyer and stuff. Let me. Okay, so I don't really do PayPal, but the PayPal address that you want to use is johnnyk180 at hotmail.com. And I will post a link on the Dart Talk page to there's like a direct link to his PayPal thing. And then the trick is, donate what you can, and then put something in the subject line about haircut or Steve's hair,
right,
or
so
ponytail,
he knows where it goes,
or Dart Talk, just so he can track it. And we set a number, a very ambitious number.
Very ambitious, yes.
And we'll update everybody, and tell everybody, like, what the progress is and stuff like that. And we'll try to have some fun with it.
All right.
I can't remember what the other giveaway thing
It'll
was.
come to you.
Okay. Well, you
can post it on the Dart Talk website when you figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, we should do something. So we said something about, like, CDs of past shows.
Yeah.
A free dart lesson.
Free dart lesson.
What else could we do? I mean, okay. We'll try to come up with something.
Because we got to come up with a donation amount as well.
This show's about as low budget can be.
Yeah.
So we'll try to work something, and I'll talk to our sponsor at the Grand Rapids tournament this weekend. I'm going to go to Michigan. There's 2 tournaments this weekend.
Michigan?
Yeah, there's Michigan, and there's also for people that want to play, especially in the Midwest. They're redoing the Easy Money Open in I believe it's in Lexington, Kentucky. Excuse me, and I really wish I could go.
How do you choose which one to go to?
Or
you always go to Grand Rapids.
I mean, I always go to Grand Rapids. Yeah. I set up with somebody before I even heard about the Easy Money, and that's one of those tournaments that I kind of go to every year. I kind of know everybody. I spend so much time in Michigan now; it's like a second home. And it's a lot of Chicago people generally go, so that's something I get to see everybody, and everybody down in Kentucky.
When the schedule
was so
comes
nice
out,
this year.
you've already signed up for that one.
That's something that is going to be on my list. I'm going to send a list of stuff to the ADO that I want them to do, right? Official suggestions,
right.
And one of them is, like, make some concerted effort to coordinate dates with tournament directors. I mean, I looked on I'm already thinking about next year, and there's only a couple of dates set, for tournaments next year.
Okay.
And it's really hard to plan this stuff out.
When do they usually set the dates?
Well, it depends. I mean, some of them have their dates set when the tournament's over. They'll meet with the venue and they'll reserve it for next year and stuff. So Virginia Beach is set. Vegas is set. The Ray Chesney's always, like, the first weekend after New Year's.
Okay.
I think White Mountain is set. But, like, the PDC dates aren't set yet. One of them is.
One out of the 5?
Or 2 of them. 2 out of the 5 are set. But there's talk they're going to change the format and just have 2 singles instead of 1.
Oh, really?
Get rid of the men's doubles and the other singles that they do on Saturday and stuff, which I think's a great idea. I mean, we'll kind of see what goes on with that, but I don't know. It'd be really cool to raise some money for a charity. I mean, we haven't tried to do that, with the show or something like that, so we may as well do what we can. And I think, doing something for kids around Christmas is about, aside from medical stuff.
Yeah.
I think, speaking of medical stuff, everybody, needs to, send a little, a hellogram to Terry Hayhurst. I mean, my gosh. He posted on Facebook that there was a kitchen fire, and it was either the apartment or his hands, so he put the fire out with his hands, and now he can't, like, play darts for months or something. I was like, are you kidding me?
That's not good.
At least use your left hand.
Right.
I don't even sleep on my right side anymore.
Or use your feet or something.
Oh, my gosh. I mean.
But anyway, get well, Terry.
Yeah, get well, Terry. That's why we had Terry at the start of the show. I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
I mean, they're one of my favorite couples, Terry and Cindy. They're always really friendly people.
Apparently he saved the apartment then, from what we gather.
Well, his landlord ought to give him a break on the rent or something.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. The whole thing just sounded horrible. Oh, and that's the other thing. We need to start a tournament where it's only doubles.
Right, I was going to ask you about
just
that. You
doubles,
came up with an interesting concept.
Yes, yeah. Maybe Dart Talk will sponsor it next year. It's a tournament where your partner has to have the same birthday as you.
Exactly.
And we should have, like, really huge prize money.
And the reason you came up with this concept?
Randy Van Duerson's birthday is the same as mine.
Happy birthday, Randy.
So happy birthday to Randy, and I just think it's. I mean, maybe he doesn't want to play with me, but I mean, I think
if the prize money's enough, he probably would.
What?
If the prize money was enough, he probably would.
Play with me?
Yeah.
It's probably, needs to be like a lot of money
right.
to put up with me playing in. I'm actually not that hard to play with. I mean, sort of.
We're breaking up,
but yeah, the bandwidth thing. I don't know what to do about it. We get 4 bars, and then all of a sudden it'll just. Oh yeah, Larry Butler and John Lowe. We'll take you guys apart. For one, John Lowe's gonna need a walker to get to the board. Sorry, John. Just kidding.
So we're still.
I think Randy would like being the youngest guy in a foursome. He probably doesn't get that much, but I don't know. It was just a thought. Happy birthday to Randy, and also to Kelly Johnson. See if there was a mixed, Kelly would be my partner.
Okay. Right. All right.
If it was a 4-man, I don't know. We'd get Lance Armstrong or Rick Pitino or
their birthdays are all today.
All today.
Okay.
And Jimi Hendrix died on September 18th.
Lance Armstrong would just cheat, though. We wouldn't want him there.
Be in my team.
Well, okay.
Get some secrets. Hey, Lance, I'm kind of dragging. You got any 5-hour energy?
Yeah, exactly.
He pulls out blood transfusion bag or something. He's like, try this. So I don't know. We're babbling on. Let's do some results. Let's do we have results from the Virginia State tournament, and also we have DPNY results. Let's do Virginia real quick. Yeah, we'll do Virginia. We'll take a break.
All right. Results from Virginia ladies singles 501. Top 4, Diana Jane and Cindy Mitchell. Second place, Nora Hansen and Ashley Brandel wins that. Men's 501, Chris Capello and Chris Linkus. Top 4, second place, Stephen Price. First place goes to Bill Cross Jr. Ladies singles cricket, top 4, Lori Henney and Michelle Adams. Gwendy.
That's what it says.
Is that right? Gwendy Fortis?
Okay, her name is not Gwendy. It's either Wendy or Gwen.
I'm just saying.
I would say it's Wendy.
I'm saying Wendy. Wendy Fortis and takes second, and first place is Doreen Sweeney Berry.
Doreen. Okay.
Men's singles cricket, top 4, Michael Hardy, Dave Roberts.
Shaggy.
Second place, Matthew Chesham, and Chris Linkus wins the men's singles cricket. Mixed doubles, top 4, Jenica Rock, Neil Adams, Ashley Brandel, and Chris Pace. Second place, Dave Roberts, Paula Doritza Bushy. And first place goes to Bill Cross Jr. and Doreen Sweeney Berry.
Awesome.
Ladies doubles, top 4, Nora Hansen, Sharon Borgeson, Lisa McDonald Hughes, and Angela Roberts. Second place goes Diana Jane and Ashley Brandel. And the Dirty Girls take first, Nicole Smith, Carol Adams, Mungeli.
Okay.
And the men's doubles, top 4, Michael Turner, Paxton Roberts, TJ Stafford, Scott Lovelace. All right.
Okay, yeah, we got some typos here.
Whatever,
it's probably
this
my
is,
fault.
Yeah, probably. Second place goes to Neil Adams and Chris Linkus, and first place in men's doubles goes to Mark Hines and Chris Capello.
Okay, nice bunch of people. Assume it was pretty good competition, so well played to everybody. We've got a DPN.
I need a proofreader.
Yeah, we got DPNY results we'll get to a little bit later in the show. Let's take another break.
Apparently it's Gwendy.
It is Gwendy. Wow, everyone knows it's Gwendy. Okay, we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, thank you, Redwood Darts and Windy City Fabricators. I asked Sharon Butler about the Dayton tournament because the cutoff for the hotel was last week. And apparently they now have 135 men and 44 women signed up, which I think is a fantastic number for a tournament that's doing so many things differently than tournaments in the past. Signing up in advance, bundling the entry fee with the hotel, round robin format, stuff like that. So I think it's a great response. I'm happy about that. Sharon does say that she's got a couple of extra rooms, so she could take a few more entries. If you're not in yet, by all means, get in there. New World Darts. Sharon, type the link in the chat room because I forgot what it is. It's like newworlddartseries.com or something. Yeah. And then there's you can sign up online or you can shoot an email to info@newworlddartseries.com, I believe. It's going to be pretty cool. They're going to stream it live, and they have got like a first-class crew of people to come and film it. So they want to try to make this tournament.
Maybe we'll be getting your haircut that day.
Well, that would be just an
ideal.
Added bonus.
That would be
an added bonus. Maybe like right before the final. We'll make a big deal out about it. So, people get your checkbooks out. And Ray Carver, if you're in the chat room, you said you'd pay $500. Maybe that's what I was thinking is like whoever gives the biggest donation has dibs on the scissors.
Well, right. That's what we said.
Did we say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, you're still trying to think of the third.
It's killing me.
Third little trinket we could give it to somebody.
Literally, the minute we sign off on the show, it's going to come to me, and I'm going to be like, "Oh man!" Right. So we'll get all this stuff straight. I know it sounds like we're kind of making this up as we go along,
well,
but I did talk to Johnny. We're new at this. We're new at this.
So
I did talk to Johnny, and we do have a firm number as far as like what you guys got a kitty putting the kitty there. So hopefully that'll work. But this tournament, if it's done well, they can use it and they can, approach people now and say, look, we could do this. You could put this on television. Somebody can go to NBC Universal. I would say stay away from ESPN at all costs unless you really want it hosed. But streaming it live where people can watch, live darts. I mean, I just hope we have an audience. I hope it's not like silent as a church or place of worship or something. What is with this fly?
No,
I saw somebody
driving
one.
me nuts.
The guy who owns the bar that I practice in just caught one.
I've done that.
And he's
before.
like, "Hey, I caught it."
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've done it with chopsticks.
It's hard to do with
chopsticks.
Microphone in the way, but
who did I have dinner with in Atlantic City? Joe Chaney, Chainsaw, and Bill Penn, the sponsor or the owner of the DartZone.com. We're sitting in the noodle bar at resorts. 20 minutes. They're trying to teach me how to use chopsticks. And finally, I'm like, can I have a fork?
Figure that out either. Yeah,
they're really good.
And
I'm like, I don't know how you do this. So I don't know, rambling on.
I stuck a fly to a dartboard once with my dart.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done that. Well, it wasn't on the board. It was actually kind of up on the wall.
Mine was in the 666.
It was cool. They at this one place. That's starting to annoy me.
I know. That's what I'm telling you.
They had like a big banner with outs. Ton 70, ton 67, whatever, and then somebody put fly. And Steve.
Because it's where it was
kind of funny. Streaming it live. Round robin format.
Yeah.
I'm dying to see. If we can make this tournament a huge success, because using this as the model, right?
Right. They don't have a cutoff on how many can enter, right?
I think they
do.
Yeah, they do. So, I mean, if you want to play, now's the time to sign up. I don't know how many rooms. She says she's got a few rooms left. So if you've been waiting, I would jump on it. The tournament's only a month away, less than a month away. So, lovely Dayton, Ohio. I've never set foot in Dayton. I've driven by it a bunch of times, but I've actually never
been there either.
No, I saw something on History Channel about. For some reason, there's some actually culturally significant things in Dayton. I don't know.
Usually they're in every town, but depends on who's it.
These
what
seemed
it's
a little
significant
more.
to.
Yeah, these seemed like a little more, like high level. And I guess they've got a big Air Force.
A little
base
more
or something.
significance than others.
I don't know. Never been to Dayton.
Well, you're going.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
So.
Jill's going. It's going to be good for her. She's been working on her game.
Right.
And, I asked these newbies that were playing. I'm like, what is it you like? And they're like, oh, we just like, kind of hanging out, but we also like the competition. And they were going at each other like hammer and tongs.
Really?
Yeah, and it's kind of like a new couple that have been, looks like they're just starting to get serious and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, that's what the world needs is, we need more dart players in America is what I told them. I'm like, look, you got any questions, just ask. Happy to help,
So you're assuming you're probably going to see them more and more.
Hopefully. Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice. I mean, I don't go in there all the time. I've been going in there a lot lately because I'm trying to get used to these darts. So, I mean, every dart bar needs to have kind of somebody there who knows a little bit about the game that can encourage people who show
to
up
play
and
how
kind
to
of rope them
right.
in a little bit.
Yeah.
You don't really have to rope them into a league. What you need to do is rope them into playing. And, my philosophy is like if once you get decent, it's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I try to have fun, I get accused of showing off. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But it's fun. So, I don't know.
What, showing
it's
off?
Fun well,
or getting accused of showing off?
It's fun to try to hit a bull from like the other board when it goes in. It's fun to hit doubles with your eyes closed, right?
I've never tried that, so I wouldn't know.
I don't know. I was messing around at some tournament somewhere, and somebody was like, "Hey, you want to play a game?" I'm like, "I'll tell you what. I'll play you for something, but I'll close my eyes on every dart." Started out with a ton 80 through an 18 darter.
Okay.
And it was like it was more fun than I had in any of the matches I played.
Right.
It's just goofing around. It's fun, My first 8-dart cricket game was just goofing around, explaining cricket to somebody, and just watching his eyes get all buggy. It was fun. So, I don't know. Okay, let's talk. Where are we on time?
On to some so we
Just
got the
rambling
intermediate
on.
drills
Okay, yeah.
that we'd like to discuss.
Well, here's the deal. We have to come up with a way like we did for the beginners.
Right.
Like the last thing that a beginner had to do, the last drill to complete was one dart in the fat of every number, last dart at the bull. So you get 7 rounds.
No less
right?
than 15.
And you had to get 15 or better.
Right.
So like these newbies tried it, and, I think they got like 6.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's good. I mean, it gives them something to shoot for, and by the time they can hit 15, they're going to be all right.
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 Yeah, we're not asking everybody to be able to do it on the first attempt.
Well, no, not for the beginners.
Right.
It's a way to kind of like, if you're in front of a dartboard, try this, try that. You don't have to just play games before you really know how to play.
Yeah.
So now the intermediate is harder because what's the difference between an intermediate and an advanced player?
Between an intermediate and an advanced player.
Right. So, yeah, we'll say there's 3 categories.
Yeah.
There's beginner, intermediate, and
advanced.
advanced. Okay, let's just keep it. I don't want to have 4.
Right.
So let's just keep it to 3. So we need a cutoff, which is kind of going to be, I mean, if you look at how, like, some soft tip tournaments work, like where they have amateur and pro, if you finish in the money as an amateur, they throw you in as a pro.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's fair, and I don't think it works. And what happens at this one tournament I'm thinking of is a lot of the times, as soon as you're on the pro list, you don't come back for 3 years.
Right.
And then you're back on the amateur list, and then you show up. I mean, we can't do something. It can't be something quite that arbitrary where if you have one good day, you're done. So the drills that I put together have 3 separate components. There are practice drills that you tests, I guess you could call them, that you have to complete on your board at home or wherever you play.
Wherever, yeah.
But then there's also things that you have to do. Yeah, there's things that you have to do against a live opponent. It doesn't have to be a league game or a tournament game, but those would count. But, if you're going to play with your buddy,
Yeah, play an actual match.
Right. And then
right.
I'll post these. We'll go through them, and I'll post them. After the show, we'll put them on the thing. But we are willing to amend these. This was much harder for me to figure out than it was with the beginners. And then the other component is cumulative, right? And where it's something that
you've accomplished.
It's cumulative. Well, no, like the one thing where one of the tests for an intermediate player is you have to have taken out 170, 167, 164, 161, and 160.
At some point.
At some point. When you're practicing, in a match, in a tournament, if you're goofing around with your friends, whatever. But you have to do them all.
Right.
Right?
At some point.
At some point. Not 10 times, but once. And a little anecdote where this show is going to be like the Steve bragging hour. But
okay.
The first time I met John Kaczynski.
The same show as every week?
I'm the 5 seed. Who cares? I just glanced over at the chat. The first time I met John Kaczynski was at a tournament, and he was on everybody was kind of, it might have been like one of the early PDC things. So there's like 5 or 6 guys on a practice board, all trying to warm up. So they were playing 170. And I'd never seen 170 before. And I was kind of like, oh, well, this is... No, you know what? It was a Windy City Open.
You were wondering what they were doing?
It was a Windy City Open. So I kind of just sort of watched and asked somebody, what are they doing? And he explained the game of 170 to me.
Yeah.
So Monday morning, I get up in bare feet and go to the board, which is what I did when I first started. First thing in the morning, I would throw for like 45 minutes. I'm like, well, I guess I should try to take out 170. And I'm like, okay, there's only one way to do it, right? So I'm 5 minutes.
5 minutes and you did it.
And I did it, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's doable.
Right.
I went on to what I did when I first started was all I did was throw at doubles. That's all I did. And there was no system to it. I would just pick a double and throw at it for 20 minutes and then pick another double. There was no rhyme or reason. I didn't go double 1, double 2, double 3. I didn't, I had no plan when I was, just starting to play. But I did have success, so... I must have been doing something right. Anyway, so that was one of the drills. So what's the first one that we got there?
A cricket count-up?
Cricket count-up. And okay, there are guys that play a cricket count-up game. When you're at a tournament and you're sharing a board with 3 or 4 people. I forget if it's 27 or 29. But what you do is you throw 3 darts at every cricket target, including the bull, and you count how many marks you get. So if you throw, 7 20s and 3 19s, you're on 10. And the way they do it is, it's a money game where if you get between 27 and 30, everybody gives you $1. If you get between 30 and something, they give you $2. And if you have to win. Okay. But then you also have to win, and then if you get like 35 or something, everybody gives you $3 or something. If you feel like, playing for dollars or something, guys do this. So what I said was, and this is something you could just do yourself. It's a 21 dart drill, so it doesn't take that long. But you have to break 30. You got to get 30 or higher 3 times.
3 times.
Seems, 30's not that easy.
No.
If you average,
if you average 4.
If you average 4, that's 28. So you got to average a little bit better than a 4. Right. Okay, that's, it's doable.
Yeah, but it's not that easy.
No, it's not.
Especially if you're, if you don't even hit a double bull.
But this is to get out of the intermediate category into an advanced and into the top level of play.
Yeah.
So you can't make it too hard and you can't make it too easy. So I kind of said, okay, do this at least 3 times.
Right.
Okay. And then I think that's the only cricket one I even have in there.
Correct.
The second one is 50 out. 50 out is like just kind of a warm-up game. You play by yourself. You throw your first dart at the double bull. This might have been one of the tips for the time challenge.
I think so.
Yeah.
Right.
You throw your first dart at the double bull, and then you clean it up in your last 2 darts.
Right.
Okay, and you got to take it out 3 times in a row. So if you throw your first dart at the double bull 3 straight times, I'd have to say you're a pretty good player, right?
Yeah.
And if you have, like, no problem taking out 25 and you could do it 3 times in a row, assuming you hit a single bull, okay. If you miss the bull and you can, clean up whatever.
Wire it in the 20.
Okay. I don't think
Yeah.
3 times in a row is all that hard. I think my record's like 12. I don't do it anymore, but I used to do it. Just kind of waiting around at blind draws to play. What are you going to do? You're sitting there or standing at board by yourself to do
50 out.
Yeah, because you have. I'm of the opinion that you have to have a purpose when you go to the line, even if you're not playing. Set some goal for yourself. It can't just be I'm going to throw what I feel like throwing. The screensaver on. You know what I mean? I mean, you have to set a goal. So it's a little more like playing for real than if you just sit there, I feel like throwing at this, I feel like throwing at that. I don't think that works at all. I mean, we've said that before.
Generally, in anything you practice at, you should have a purpose. Otherwise, you're not going to get any better.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And then the third drill is I don't even think I've even tried this. Yeah. You got to hit 1 in the fat of every number, or your last start's got to be a bull. And you got to go 21 for 21.
Miss.
You can't
right.
miss. I think
it's not as easy as it sounds.
No, it isn't, but it's not that hard either. You're throwing, it just takes, you got to learn to concentrate even when the target's like way bigger than what you're normally throwing at.
Right.
And you have to throw at every segment on the board. Okay, if you're going to be a top-level player, you got to be able to hit, fat 13s too.
Exactly. Right.
That was the one thing Terry Jenkins told me once about how that's the one dart that the Brits fear.
Is this the fat 13?
The fat 13. It's the one thing they never practice.
Okay.
So if you're going for, whatever, you're going for the double 18, or you're going and you single it, and then you, or let's say you're on 18 and you single the 9. It's the fat 1 they're worried about.
Yeah.
They're not worried about hitting the double 4.
Right.
Because they've done it a million times. It's the fat 1. Especially because your muscle memory is going to try to steer it into the 20. God, that fly is just bugging me, man. Whining and whining and whining. I know today, but
it's amazing,
that's
though.
Bugging me.
You could have a professional worried about hitting a fat 1.
Or a fat whatever, fat 11. I don't know how many times I've seen these guys, they're on 61 with 2 darts in their hand. The guy's sitting on 40, and they go for the 11, and they throw it in the 8.
Yeah.
And they just literally want to launch their next dart over the back wall. It's so infuriating because the target is so big. But, okay, so once around the world, perfect score.
Yeah.
Don't think that I don't think that that's going to be that much of a challenge for a top-level player, but you'd be surprised. I mean, you may have to do it once or twice. Right? All right, we'll get to the second half of the drills and stuff here in a second. Let us just take it. This will be like a 30-second timeout, and we'll be right back.
No, I know I wasn't.
Okay, and we're back. Brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, thanks Windy City Fabricators and Redwood Darts. Before we forget, let's do the results from the The Jealousy Tour.
The DPNY, Steve's Jealousy Tour.
Steve's Jealousy Tour, the DPNY.
Dart Players New York. Let's go. Top 8, Billy Bell, John Gambino, George Tiponi, and Jim Newman. Top 4, Larry Watson, Paul Burns. Second place, Tim O'Gorman. And first place, Anthony T.J. DeArmas Jr.
All right, congrats to all of them. Congrats to TJ. I played him somewhere. I think I played him in Stamford, and he played really good.
Yeah.
And I got by him, and then somebody's like, "Yeah, he's only like 21." I'm like, "Oh gosh, he's gonna be a monster."
More jealousy.
Yeah, he's gonna be a monster.
Right.
We also have. So this is basically like 7 events to qualify for the grand final, where you get, I don't know, like $5,000 in tournament sponsorship. So like Jim Widmeyer won it last year, and he got his entry fees and hotel paid for like 6 tournaments.
Oh, nice.
The 6 big tournaments.
Right.
So, I mean, it's such a great way of, promoting, darts for tournament players. And what they do is, like this one, I believe, was at the Shannon. So they have in Hoboken, they have all these smaller venues in New York because it's so expensive. Places with 4 boards or something like that. But you can still run, a tournament with like 8, 12 guys, 16 guys, whatever. Now they had 32 here, so I'm assuming they must have had at least 6 or 8 boards at the Shannon. I don't know. And they move it around, and the bars, contribute money and stuff. And at the end of the season, if you have enough points, you get into the big money final. So let's read the top 16 right now.
Top 16 points?
Yeah, and there's actually a couple of guys that... So 16th is Buddy Sism, and actually Wayne Budgeon and Kevin Sispo have the same number of points. So there's some tiebreaker they're using there. Brandon Rogers, 15. Sharon Arnold, 14. Bill DeWitt, 13. Bones. John Ronholm is 11th. Ooh, missed John Gambino. He's 12th.
Right.
Larry Watson, 10th. Ryan Vanderwhite, 9th. Bob Garzone, 8th. Dave Marienthal, 7th. Tim O'Gorman, 6th. Jimmy Widd, 5th. Rich Hammond, 4th. Third's Paul Burns. Second is T.J. DeArmas. And George Timponi still leading the pack.
He's got a decent-sized lead.
Yeah, and it's one of those.
Points.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, some of these guys haven't gone every single one.
Right.
Right. So that's
Get
one of those.
Rewarded for going to all of them.
Well, if you're going to have one the same weekend as like a big tournament, some guys aren't going to be are going to go to the big tournament instead. So it's kind of, I don't know. The scheduling thing is tricky. Like I'm trying to figure out when to do the Chicago ADO Cricket Regional. Right? Can't do it on this day. Can't do it on that day. Don't want to do it the same time as another tournament. La-di-da-di-da. So I mean, it's like the scheduling.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it really stinks that the easy money's the same weekend as Grand Rapids because I'd like to go down to Kentucky.
Right.
So, and last year they had Lake Erie and Cleveland the same weekend as Grand Rapids.
But you've also said that there's more tournaments now than ever before, too, so you're going to run into more of a problem like that.
But that's a good thing.
You were exactly.
The trick now is going to be how do you schedule these big tournaments?
Right.
And people are going to have to make some painful decisions as far as like what you're going to go, what you're not going to go to, stuff like that. I would think it's going to be especially hard for people on the Eastern Seaboard because there's so many local things that they could go to, but then, there's going to be PDC events, and I don't know if we're going to have more Darts Live next year, if there's going to be more than one event or something like that, and it's like, airfare, and, you got to front all this money.
Right.
If you don't have people, sponsoring you and it's coming out of your pocket, I mean,
it's tough to do.
I'm not independently wealthy.
Right.
I don't know anybody that is. By the way, anybody that wants to sponsor me, feel free.
Anybody that's independently wealthy, sponsor Steve and donate to Toys for Tots.
I will go to more tournaments. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the Toys for Tots, we're going to have to, like, cut an ad that we can run during the breaks or something like that. Maybe we'll have time next week.
More importantly, sponsor Steve.
Yeah. Wow. I'm all for that. I'd be able to go to more tournaments anyway.
Right.
It's no, I'm not gonna. Okay, we'll just let's go back to the drills. Let's finish the drills.
We're back to the drills.
Yeah.
Right.
So there are some career accomplishments that you also need to have done before you can graduate to this. Now, the first one is throw a 15 dart game in a tournament.
Right in 5-1. Yes.
I'm wondering if it should be lower, but like
not
maybe
for, I don't know, for
under
a tournament?
15.
No, I don't think so. Not for an intermediate player.
This is to get out of intermediate.
Right. But
Okay, well.
I don't know. I mean,
all right.
I don't know many intermediate players that are necessarily throwing consistently 15 dart.
Yeah, but you only got to do it once. It just says throw a 15 dart game in a tournament.
Okay.
I mean, you've done it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you don't even play that many tournaments.
Right. But I think for the tournament, I don't think it should be lower because your other one is lower.
Well, but that's different. That's not it's not required. Another one that we have is throw a 12 dart 501 game
in league or against opponent.
Yeah. So you have to do it against somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do it like in a local, playing with your buddy or something. But you have to have thrown a 12 dart game.
Right.
And, maybe
but
some people haven't done it.
If you do that, then why if it's in a tournament, I think you can raise it to a 15 dart game in a tournament.
Well, I was thinking of making it throw under 15 darts in a tournament and then throw under 12 darts live. I was kind of wondering if maybe we should make it a little harder. But that's what I came up with.
This isn't a concrete, a concrete list, so it's revisable.
It's the official Dart Talk practice regimen for intermediate players.
Exactly.
I mean, it's official. It's carved
and
in
it can
granite.
Officially be changed.
We are basically each one half of a burning bush, right?
Right.
Isn't that what the show's all about? So, no, but the I don't know. A 15 dart game in a tournament.
All right, so
I don't think that's
very
better.
Hard. We'll say under 15 and under 12.
You'd be surprised.
14 and 11.
You want to do 14 and 11?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so
let's change that. So you have to have thrown an 11 dart game in your life, and this is not playing by yourself on your board at home. You have to actually round somebody up and play them and throw an 11 darter. You got to throw an 11 darter against a live player, and you have to throw a sub 15 darter
in a tournament.
In a tournament or like in a league, let's say, because some people don't go to tournaments.
Yeah.
So
right.
I mean, if you only have one tournament a year, I don't think
that's
going to
be
really reflect. Yeah. So I mean,
yeah,
we're not trying to like
make it impossible.
Yeah, we're trying to have a well-rounded way of identifying like who's an intermediate player and who isn't. Yeah. And so this is kind of what I came up with. The other thing we talked about was, and you could do this on your own in practice, but you have to take out 160, 161, 164, 167, and 170.
At some point. In a practice.
Right. So
not on one day.
So if you've never taken out a 161 in your life, now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. It's 2 triples and a double bull. You can do it. If you're going to be a top-level player, you could totally do it.
And then your last stop.
Trying to think if I actually don't think I've ever taken out a 170 in a tournament.
Okay.
But I've only shot at it like
how
twice.
often, right, how many opportunities you're getting.
If you're scoring well enough, you don't see 170.
Right. I did it once in a qualifier.
Yeah, there you go. So
but that was
So before we get to the last thing, how are you on this list?
I'm in the middle. Well, I've never tried the practice routines.
Okay.
But,
But
I've done 170, 160. I might have done a 161.
Okay.
I've thrown a 14 darter. And I don't know if I've ever thrown an 11 darter, though. Okay. I don't know if I've ever kept track of that.
Okay. Well, you pretty much know. You got one dart left in your hand, and it's an awesome game.
Yeah.
There's not that many lines on the scoreboard to erase. But, okay, it's something to keep track of. Now, this last, what we'll call like the final grade is I think I got this from Ray Carver, where he was saying that, and how do you explain this? Okay, all you do is you throw at the trip 20.
Yeah.
And you have to get 15 triples without missing the 20 and without having a round below 100.
So at least one triple every round.
You have to have at least one triple every round, and it's going to take you a few rounds to do this. So it's an enormous level of consistency, right?
15 times in a row.
Well, no. I mean, if you throw ton 40s, then you get 1 point for every triple. So if you throw a ton 80, that's 3 points, and you got to get 15 points. So 15 triples.
15 points.
Right. So if you just throw nothing but ton 40s, then you could do it in 8 rounds.
Yeah.
but I don't know, how many straight ton 40s have you ever thrown? I mean, I don't really sit there throwing at the 20 very often. I mean, it used to be part of my warm-up routine for a tournament was I would throw 10 double bulls, then I would throw one of every double, and then I'd throw 25 trip 20s. That was my practice routine up until over a year ago, I think, where when I went to a dart hall, I'd throw on my headphones, and I would go through that routine before the start of a tournament. And at some point, I stopped doing it, and maybe I should get back to doing it because I don't know that.
What, do you do something different now on purpose? Or you just...
I wing it.
Yeah.
My tournament preparation this year has been kind of like, well, how much time do I have? Sometimes the dart halls aren't open that early. Sometimes I was up late, playing the draw. Sometimes, I was yakking at breakfast, whatever.
Right.
So I haven't really had the time to do it.
Sometimes you drive in. You only got an hour to it.
So I was much better about it last year. And I know, I think Brad Oxendine's in the chat room asking about, like, little practice things. I don't know. I used to do that. I did that probably for a year and a half, 2 years maybe, where that was always my routine. And I would do it like if I showed up to play League, I would do this.
So how long do you think it would take you to do the trip 20 count up?
I've never tried it. I don't know. You know what? Ask me next week. Right. I will try to do that. It's not going to be easy. I'll tell you this right now. It's not going to be easy because everybody leaks one into the 555 now and then.
Yeah.
So you're talking about maybe 7, 8, 9 straight rounds of ton or higher to get to 15.
Right.
And it's not going to be easy. And again, like the girl was saying, she was kind of embarrassed about being a beginner. Hey, and I'm like, hey, everybody's been there. I don't think there's any shame in saying you're an intermediate player. I mean, I won events before I've done, some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I got good fast. I had when I started playing, I think I was unemployed and I had just gotten divorced and I had plenty of time on my hands and I spent it all on darts.
Throwing darts?
Yeah, and that worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
As far as like getting good in a hurry.
Right.
Right. I won my first state title. I'd been playing like 2.5 years or something like that. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty rapid.
I know you actually beat me the year you won it.
Oh, that was the amateur title. Yeah, that was when that was for nickel.
Right.
Yeah, we played each other in like
it's like the second or third round.
Oh, second, third round.
Yeah.
Huh. I forgot about that. Yeah, I'd been playing about 18 months.
Right.
Yeah. And actually, the Windy City Cup, or the Windy City Open, because that was in March.
Correct.
The previous November, or whenever the Windy City Open was, the previous September, I won the nickel cricket.
Right, okay.
And I'd been playing like 11 months.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
I'll say.
11 months, winning like an amateur title.
Yeah.
That's not bad. What else we got?
That's about it.
Anything in the chat room?
You're going to post this stuff?
Yeah,
right?
I will. I'll do it like I did with the
beginners.
With the beginners, I will post all this stuff. It probably ain't going to be until tomorrow sometime, and everybody can take a look at it and comment on it. Again, if you've got suggestions or anything, you can email them to darttalk@gmail.com. We're happy to help. Glad to see so many people in the chat room. I'm glad we didn't have to ban anyone either. Although every now and then I see censored, and I don't know.
I don't know what that is
must
either.
Be, well, there's a thing that I click on, like no curse words or something.
Okay.
So you guys keep it clean. We have a clean tag on iTunes for like over a year. I think that's pretty good for darters.
Yeah.
Just saying. For what it's worth. Did we forget anything?
No, I don't think so.
All right, so the Toys for Tots now.
Yep.
You guys want to go to PayPal, and it's johnnyk180@hotmail.com.
Correct.
And if you don't want to use PayPal, send them an email. And say, hey, I want to donate. Just make sure you put something about the hair or something in the show.
Right, so we can keep track.
Yeah, what we'll do is, we'll have to, if you can get in here early enough, we'll cut like a commercial with all the details on everything.
All right.
And then we can run that during the breaks and stuff. I kind of like that we could put commercials in there now. Now we need sponsors to give us commercials to run. See, that would be That would be awesome.
We need a lot of sponsors. You need a sponsor. The show needs sponsors. Everybody needs sponsors.
I'll tell you, when I looked into this live phone thing and everything, and for like a decent phone interface, we need like $500.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to spend $500, but anybody that wants to send us a telephone audio interface, yippee-ki-yay.
Have at it.
Yeah, have at it. Just pass it to me at a tournament or something. We could certainly use it. And again, thanks for the birthday wishes. Do appreciate that. You got anything?
No.
Are we good? Okay.
Get well, Terry Hayhurst, one more time.
Yeah, get well, Terry. Everybody, try to send something to Terry and cheer him up. He must be like totally bummed out. We'll be in the chat room for another 10 minutes or so. If you guys want to, reiterate whatever we didn't talk about.
Right.
But other
Rip
than
on
that,
us for whatever reason.
Yeah. Other than that, we're out, and we will dart talk to everybody real soon.
Thanks for listening.
All right.